And we are live. Okay, boom. HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. For y'all ignorant ass people that get it. Alright. The first HBCU, Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, was founded in 1837. It is the oldest historically black college university. It is a member of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education and the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Do y'all read history on the school? And yes, I am on Wikipedia. Founded in 1837 and renamed the Institute of Colored Youth in April 1837. Cheyney University is the oldest African American institute of higher learning. The African Institute was founded by Richard Humphreys, a Quaker philanthropist who bequeathed 10,000, equivalent to $256,100 in 2019. Damn. 1/10 of his estate to design and establish a school to educate people of African descent and prepare them as teachers. So that right there was a HBCU fact that I'm pretty sure none of us knew. It's good to know where we came from. One thing about the HBCU, one thing about our culture, period, is it's always minimized. So where, you put schools like Carolina, it's not to, not any other school, but it's just to glorify the HBCU because they'll say that y'all ain't only learn as a Carolina, or as a Duke, or as a Clemson, or as a Maryland, or any of them other schools. But college is college. You know what I'm saying? So what we're here tonight to do is glorify the HBCU and all their alma maters. Just because they got us in the hood, don't mean it ain't all good. Hey, sit your ass up. Sit your ass up. You already know what you're doing. It's all good, though, baby. So tonight we representing the HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you've been there and you was there to witness that experience, we about to take you on the journey. Hey, DJ, drop that shit. Get that down. Hey, DJ. First off, I'm sorry. I want to apologize to you. We got DJ Strays in the building tonight. Y'all know where the hell y'all see him at. Y'all know where y'all be at. Sundays. We in the building. Where we at, DJ, on Sundays? Right. Like I had to say it. From Greenwood, from Hollister, all the way down to Woodlands, from Tarboro, Greenhope, hey, Castile, hey, Greenwood. What we doing on Sunday? I want to welcome y'all to Go Chat, man. Appreciate y'all for coming up here rocking with me. Just as people think it's a privilege to come up here, it's a privilege to me for y'all to come up here because I don't always get a year. But when people heard that this man was coming out, you know what I'm saying? It was like it's a state championship of ball. So I want to appreciate y'all for coming. We're doing tonight is, like I said, the historical Black College University edition. College night, the significance of Thursday night, because in Aggie Land, everybody knew on Thursday night was the party night, because Fridays, everybody was going home. I want to start right here with my man right here. I want you to tell you your name, your alma mater, who you represent, and what class you graduated.
Jason Bauer, North Carolina A&T State University, 2003.
Chris Allen, the only college that matters. The North Carolina Central University, class of 06 and 2010.
That's why I should have went last.
He ain't telling where he started it.
Okay.
He ain't telling where he started it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't telling where he started it.
I did start at some little school in Greensboro.
Hold on, this right here is special classmate. Tell them who you represent.
Hey, I'm Tyron Burson, representing the Mecca, Howard University, College of Pharmacy, 2014.
James Pittman, class of 2003, Fayetteville State University. We are the original Howard University.
We're the real HU. The real
Original.
I didn't know that was
The real HU.
We are the original.
Shayna Tyler, class of 2003 from the Elizabeth City State University, 4th generation. We say this last.
Words for last.
Shakoria Mercer, class of 2013 from the illustrious.
I want to welcome everybody here. And don't matter what school you went to. I'm pretty sure on every campus, on every door, we all felt that vibe, that family experience, that HBCU experience. I want to start the conversation off tonight talking about this applied to the A&T. You was a two-way star athlete. So why, first off, why HBCU and then YT?
Well, really, those were the schools that recruited me the most. You know, so they were the schools that gave me the most attention, and it felt genuine. So the only other thing was that was the only school at the time that was going to allow me the opportunity to play both baseball and football. So I mean that made the decision simple. Plus I went to homecoming. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. We gonna get that. We gonna get that. I know. Well, what I'm saying is this: when in recruitment, especially at A&T, for the people that they really want, that's the weekend they bring them up. So you see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you know, it ain't nothing if you didn't get recruited on that weekend, but if they brought you up, they really want you. Yeah.
I feel disrespected. Now they brought me in. And
So you see, the more we go on,
So Chris, we gotta talk about the dark years.
No, yeah. We gonna talk about that dark year. Yeah, that dark year. Yeah.
Why Central? Why HBCU and why Central out of options? Y'all make sure you land.
Family. Like my uncle, he went to North Carolina Central, and he kind of pushed me that way. Again, my big dream was to play football, but that quickly went away once I got in Central's program and Bulldog kicked me out of the weight room. So, again, like I was at the T, so I started off at Methodist. Like I was on the campus at Methodist, then T, and just because of my sister, and then I finally found my purpose at North Carolina Central.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, brother. Hey, Tyrone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We was in the same white future head.
Yes, sir.
I ain't staying.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But I got a good feeling you stay. Why HBCU and why Howard University?
Man, how much time do I have to tell this story?
Man, give me because we gonna talk all night.
All right. I went to Howard post undergrad.
Okay.
so I wanted to go to the pharmacy school. And so there were maybe about 3 universities in the North Carolina area that had a pharmacy school. You had Chapel Hill, Campbell, Wingate. Elizabeth City, they actually had a partnership with Chapel Hill around the time when I started to apply. To be honest, my grades, they weren't the best, you know. And so I had ended up applying to all 3 in the state and Howard.
Okay.
So with Chapel Hill, they were like, you know, reapply, take, you know, some extra classes, you'll be a better candidate next year. And then Campbell, you know, something similar. Wingate, I think my rejection letter on that one was just like, bruh, you know?
That's how Winston-Salem State.
Yes, sir. But Howard, they reached out and they actually extended me the opportunity. Their response was, you know, come in for an interview. I had to take some, they recommended that like volunteer, get some hours at a pharmacy or whatnot. And I did that, did the interview, and I made it through.
Man.
Brother Pitt.
Mine started in high school, middle school, high school with the Educational Talent Search and the Overbound. They took me on tours to different colleges. But I always wanted to go to an HBCU. My mother was trying to get me at East Carolina, and I was like, absolutely not. I did not want to go there. My first choice was North Carolina A&T. I, you know, snuck up and, you know, did my recruiting for a band, got in the band. My mom said, "You're still not going." So, you know, so I ended up at to tour at Fayetteville State, and I got on campus. I just loved the campus. When I got there, then I saw familiar faces. I saw D. Brown. Everybody know who D. Brown is from Tarboro, and saw Ed Lewis graduate from Rocky Mountain. I was like, okay, this is where I need to be at. So loved it, loved every part of it. I believe it was 5 of us that graduated in '99 that went to Fayetteville State. And we all, you know, loved it. We loved Fayetteville State.
9th generation. I think her great. Listen, see. But for the people that don't know the story, tell how you ended up at White.
Elizabeth City was my last choice for those reasons. My grandmother worked on campus. My father graduated from Elizabeth City. My mother graduated from Elizabeth City. You know, just the connection there, I didn't feel like I would have my own identity.
Right.
So I went on a summer program to UNCG, and when I left there, I was dead set. That's where I was going. I applied everywhere but A&T. No disrespect, I know my focus. When you know yourself, you know that it's just not gonna, you know, if it's not gonna work out, it's not gonna work out. But got into UNCG, I was dead set, and they sent back and said, we can only give you $800 a semester. At the time, Elizabeth City had the North Carolina Incentive Scholarship. They said, we're going to give you all this money. So my daddy said, you can do what you want to do, but relook at your options. And so being considerate, I said, I'm going to go to Elizabeth City. And I knew that everybody was going to A&T, and I was going to be at UNCG. So my focus might not going to be there.
You still going to be at A&T regardless.
Right. So
if a friend ain't got a call, you go be on the go.
right.
All roads lead to Aggie.
All Aggie every time. Every bus on the street.
That I didn't need to be.
All right, that's correct.
But Elizabeth City was the best choice, and not even because of, you know, the connections and the, you know, the ways that I was able to make through people I knew, but just the experience, the overall experience, the connections and friends that I made at Elizabeth City State are like no other. Right. You know, they are the ones that I grew up with. You know, we 19 to 21, 18, 19, 21, you know, were tough years. So Elizabeth City now, like, I couldn't have seen myself anywhere else.
WSSU. What made you go up to the trade force?
Well, HBCU in general, I actually wanted to go to Elizabeth City. but they didn't have a nursing program, and that was my focus at the time. Out of high school, I was like, I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna be a nurse. We'll get into that changing later, but I actually visited Central, and I was like, this ain't it. This is word. Okay, everybody was going to A&T from Northern. Everybody was going to ECU, and I was just like, I don't want to be around y'all. I've been around y'all these last 4 years. And I toured Winston. It was just like, okay, like she said, it just something clicked. Like, this is it. I want to go here. And then eventually get there, you see all these people from the 252 ended up there anyway. But we just all stuck together. The movies Drumline and Stomp the Yard also influenced my decision to attend HBCU. I'm just like, dang, like it looked fun. I want to do that. So
You said what movie?
Stomp the Yard and Drumline.
Now listen, it's your
We were seniors in college when Stomp the Yard came out. I was already in Delta, and we all went to the movie.
I think I made it out by then.
You know what movie influenced me? School Days.
School Days.
Yeah.
School Days.
Yeah.
That was like,
Hey, I learned it.
But School Days was the HBCU.
Yeah, right.
But the original HBCU that all of us thought about. Well, I don't know, because a different world was the show. I wanted to go to Hillman. So,
Man, listen, man. Yeah,
Nah, I learned it was the version of if you don't go to an HBCU.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You just fell out of place.
Right.
Yeah.
So, going to college, man, because I know, I ain't gonna talk a lot about my experience, but I know when I graduated high school, leaving high school, like, I came up in the era where what you gonna do when you graduate high school? You go to work, go to school, you got to do something. My whole mindset just getting out right now, period. I went to the boys club and I watched guys like Frenchie, Johnny Davis, Squirt, Win Watch, and all them guys. They was my mentors growing up. You know what I'm saying? So when they graduated high school, they went off to college. And what the boys club would do also was, just like Upper Bounds, they would take us on them trips. You know what I'm saying? When they took us to an A&T football game, it won't no question. I tried to go to Winston-Salem for them exact reasons, was because none of my friends were going, and I was going like, well, I can focus here. But other than that, it won't no question of where else I was going. Because I went to that football game when I was 11 in the band, and you know what I'm saying, all that. So what was your mindset? Like, do you feel like you was ready for college going, even though, like, you had this sports going on? Was you ready for that experience? Was you about the experience, but perspective?
I don't know. You tell me that, was any of us ready for the experience? You know what I mean? Like when you come from here and now you take somebody from Rocky Mountain, you put them in Greensboro. I mean, where you said like it's going on Thursday, but I'm sure it's like that everywhere. Like, don't matter where you go, it's going on every night. If you want to find it, it's there every night. So I mean, it's tough to say that you prepare for it, but the strong survive.
Right.
So your mindset got to be what are you really there for,
Right.
and continue to learn as you there. I'm sure we can all say after our freshman year we got better.
Yeah.
Of course.
I remember first semester them grades came out and said, what have you been doing?
Yeah.
grades went home.
Right.
I got home and my grades was already there. My mom said, okay, your car
That's
is
the reason
not
why I ain't going. That's the reason why I ain't going.
The grades beat you home.
That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I ain't going. I was ready to go on the phone.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
What?
My people say,
My daddy said, I pay this bill.
Okay.
That's
I'm
my
opening
mom
up this
They didn't care about my mom saying this.
said. My mom found
But you know what though? Because I asked that, man, because like, all right, say for instance, especially like us that went to senior high, you had regular classes, you had advanced classes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had a friend, his name was CJ, Christopher Williams, he did everything we did. You know what I'm saying? Everything the cool guys did, the drinking, the smoking, the hanging out, the going to the club and all that, he did all that shit. But when you ain't see him them 8 or 9 hours out the day, he was studying. You know what I mean? And he was going for engineer. You know what I mean? So like, I ain't paying attention to it, but he was ready for it. You know what I mean? And some kids are ready for school. Like, you're room, and I think it's for the most part the ones that already financially stable to where it is. I ain't gonna say it's everybody, but to where it's the point where it's drilled in you to your son, you go to school, you go do this, it's a blueprint already mapped out for you. I didn't have a race college. You know what I mean? And it was just, they were just so happy to see me go. They ain't understand that shit. That boy ain't gonna do good in no 8 o'clock class. You know what I'm saying? So what was that first day like? Y'all stepped on the door. I know you got a week prior to go to class. You know what I'm saying? When you actually had to do that class, it was your freshman year. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really riding on the chalkboard no more like that. What was that like? You seeing this professor? We ain't dealing with teachers no more. We dealing with professors. And they telling you now you got I don't even know what the damn name for. What's the word of the shit you do? Syllabus. Syllabus. You know what I'm saying? So when you seen that syllabus, Jason, what did you say to yourself?
First of all, I had never heard of a syllabus before in my life. They didn't know what it was, and they because everything was check your syllabus, check. I'm like, what is that? What is the syllabus? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Man, it was just, I'm lost for words right this minute. As soon as you said syllabus, you threw me off.
You learn quick. Don't take an 8 o'clock class. You learned that very quick, and I took English 8 o'clock. Ooh.
I took math.
English 8 o'clock.
I had general psych at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So now that you said, I'm thinking, man, I was a PE major. And it was so weird because my freshman year, I had 8 classes, but I still ain't have a 12 hour. So all my classes, 1 hour. Yeah, I had class for 8. I had 8 and 9. That's what I'm saying. I learned later. I'm like, yo, why I was so crazy. It was so crazy.
7 o'clock to 3 o'clock. But something about getting up and going to school, going to a class, and just from 8 o'clock to damn 9 o'clock. But it is was mama ain't slapping you upside the damn head.
You gotta walk that ass.
You gotta walk.
Yeah, what about you? But then all the way in DC.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you were a freshman. I don't know your summer orientation. I know I was on. You in a foreign land. Did you have anybody in DC? Did you got there?
Well, actually, I had a cousin that stayed in Laurel, Maryland.
Okay.
So my first year and a half, because when I got accepted at Howard, it was kind of scrambling, trying to find housing, trying to find rooms on campus, everything booked. So I'm like, dang, how am I going to get, how am I going to do this? And so I have a cousin in Laurel, and they took me in for my first year and a half. I stayed with them, and they had a blow-up mattress, and I slept in their living room for that first year and a half. But for Howard, my freshman year, it was somewhat different because I was going there for pharmacy school. And I was trying to get my doctorate at that time. Mm-hmm. So I already had the experience of doing undergrad. Okay. So I came in, but it was still another animal. Right. Because at the same time, like you said, I'm in a whole nother city. I'm in DC, still trying to learn how to get around. And I remember my first day in class, it was the dean, he came in, and the building is Chauncey Cooper. And he comes in and he starts talking, about pharmacists being excellent and all this other stuff. And then he shows us the syllabus. And we didn't get to pick all, what times, it was already laid out. You had to go to pharmacy and anatomy and this time and all this other stuff. And so we're just looking at it oh my God, how am I going to get through this course load? And so for me, my freshman year, after getting through it and surviving, I'm like, there's hope. I just needed to get through that first semester. And after that, I was like, maybe I can make it. Yeah. But it was tough, but after getting through that, I would say that first semester, you kind of saw the light, starting to come through.
That's good, man. Cause I seen some of my sisters. I said, well, it's my first.
I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
You little bullets. Oh, look at that. I'm like, this page 3. I'm like, man, yeah, I ain't gonna do this.
But thankfully, I had a lot of classmates that really looked out for me. I mean, we had study halls, we had study sessions, and they would bring me in, and they, really kept me close. And it wasn't just me alone. I had a whole lot of help. Right. And faculty, everybody, it was kind of like a family. Right. They all brought me in, and we all came up together.
Mr. Pitt, you said it was 5 of y'all from your class of 99 to me.
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy about y'all. 99 was wild.
That was a good year.
99 was wild. Now, y'all showed me what disrespect was. Larry Branch called Dr. Campbell his company.
Oh, Lord. He only did it once.
She is a graduate.
Yeah, she is, and no disrespect. Y'all used to give her head. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Y'all used to say, y'all said that damn Shanice Jenkins.
They had a picture of
Larry Branch said, all them, y'all gave them hell. All y'all put the names on. You know what I'm saying? So, how was it when y'all transitioned from senior high to fair state? How was that experience? Like y'all freshman year, was y'all clicking up and okay, about the mountain here, or how was
the 252? It was a lot from the 252. We saw each other. Myself, Tasha Richardson, Erica Mitchell, Charles Madre. We saw each other on campus every now and then, but all of us were in different programs.
Right.
I believe me and Tasha was in the business program together, but even with that, I was finance. So, we saw each other, and if we ever needed each other, we knew where to go to with each other. The transition, from home to college, it was crazy for me because in Oakland, I took college courses that summer. So I walked in English and math with sophomores, and they had they know the syllabus, and the professor came in, dropped the syllabus, walked back out, and we were all sitting there like, don't you supposed to do something else? And they didn't. He didn't. So I had to look at the syllabus and look at dates, and I said, oh, I got it, and didn't have it. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So, but my experiences at Fairfield State, I wouldn't give them up for anything.
Was the red carpet rolled out for you? You already got that with them now. Hold on,
Legacy. He put that on that.
It was not, and I will say, after staying orientation, you go to orientation, they put you in the freshman dorm. Called my mom, I said, look, we're not gonna be able to do this. I done spent enough years. I said, that's the only pool. I said, well, can I not have to stay where I got to share a bathroom with 20 people? Females. That was my only ask. So I did get in a upperclassman dorm. I was, I had a suite. My roommate was my cousin.
Oh, you really pulled your.
Yeah.
So
she pulled that Michelle Obama.
So she was my roommate, and but I do remember calling home. And I said, these people are rude. I said, nobody's speaking. We're like at home where everybody. You're speaking to everybody when you see each other. We're raised that when you make eye contact, you speak. But then you got people from everywhere coming to school, and there weren't a lot of people from Elizabeth City. Of course, Squirt was there, Gerald was there for a semester. Akila and Letitia, rest in peace, ladies. They were at Elizabeth City, but they were in another dorm. So it was maybe 20 of us from the class of 99, if that many, there. So I had to make friends, but we were all in different dorms, and there were people from Northern that were there as well, but we were just all, when you're in different dorms and kind of just getting acclimated. Class wise, I didn't understand what anybody said because all of my professors were foreign. So once you get past the syllabus and the language barrier.
And the class names.
But otherwise, I mean, it worked itself out after that first semester, and you kind of figure out, okay, I got to go to class. I got to get this work done. I can't go to all the parties on Thursday night. It worked itself out.
Mr. Say,
Yes.
what was it like walking on campus that freshman year, that first week?
Well, now they have what's called rendition, where they let the freshmen come on campus a week before everybody gets there. I think it might have started a year after I graduated. Yeah. So before, when I was going through, it was just orientation.
Right.
So at the time, I didn't have housing. I think I was on a waiting list. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm gonna stay. I don't know what my dad went up there and said to housing and residence life. But when he came back out, I was in a dorm across campus. Thankfully, I was not in an all girls dorm because I was not having that. Especially being the oldest of 4 girls. No, we not doing that. So I just realized after my parents left, I was like, who gonna speak for me? Like, he went up there and handled that. I got to figure out how to handle the rest of this stuff on my own. And then I just also learned, like she said, with partying on Thursdays or that freshman week, the first week actually, just parties everywhere. You see the fraternities, you see the football players, and you just like, okay, this what we doing. But I did learn that it's all about balance. Like you have to balance social life. You got to find time to study. You got to find time to take a mental health break and just woosah, And as you get older, your freshman year, you come in one way, but by the time you get to sophomore and junior year, you don't want to party as much. You want to go to the library. You want to write this paper. You want to, you just don't want to do what you were doing your freshman year. So you definitely evolve as a person at an HBCU. I will say that. So yeah, it's just.
Speak for yourself, Jason. My freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year, I was out there. Freshman year, that's probably where the party at. Sophomore year, where the party at. Junior year, which was still really my sophomore year, where the party at. Senior year was still my sophomore year, where the motherfucking party at. But now I ain't making out of there, so.
People that go there and see, they come in.
Yeah, that's what I did, man. Shout out to Maria. So check this out.
You worried about me? That's 40 connections.
Hey, look, so check this out, right? I was an only child growing up in my whole life. They had no brothers and sisters that I knew of at the time. You know what I'm saying? I always stayed by myself. I had my own room. When I go shower, I didn't wear no shower shoes. I go in there, I barefooted, come out, put the clothes on. When I get the A&T, now I got a roommate. You know what I'm saying? This roommate, I ain't gonna say his name because he might be watching, because hopefully go check with Matt is all over North Carolina by now. But this brother used to wake up and call his girlfriend at 4 o'clock in the morning. His voice was at the time deep like mine. And his voice would carry. And she was in like the 9th or 10th grade.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah. But I ain't even thinking nothing about it.
You trying to get the edge on,
I ain't doing that. Anyway, so now I can't sleep. You know what I mean? Because he crying and telling baby, don't leave me. You want me to come home. You want me to blah, blah. I'm like, God damn, man, how do you do that and go to class? Because once you wake up, I ain't going to class. That's my excuse, you know what I'm saying? Even though I done got high, drunk, or till 1 o'clock in the morning, I plan on sleeping from 1 to 7 and going to class, but I can't because his ass wake up at 4. So what I'm getting to is, how was your living arrangements when you first got to school? Because, like I said, I was an only child. So when I would go to the shower at first, I'm still going barefoot. until I started getting goddamn blisters on my feet and all this stuff that wasn't taught to me because, you know what I mean, I grew up having not to worry about that. So how was y'all living the race when y'all first got to school?
Shoot, I had an older roommate, but you know, I lived in the sports dorm, and you know, I stayed with football players. But he was an older dude, man. This dude was like a junior maybe, and it's tough. He was worse than what you talking about though.
Yeah.
Like he was a dude, like he was an engineer, real focused. So like I might be in the room watching TV or something, and buddy just come in the room like, yo, it's 11 o'clock, dude. Cut the lights off, like, yo, time. What we doing? You know what I mean? Like, and he was like that all the time. Like, hey, dude, hey, man. But he'll wake me up for class, like, yo, man, you need to go to class, man. Get up. You know.
So you had a big brother.
I ain't say we was brother like. You know what I mean? But he tried to look out for me. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, even when I couldn't look out for myself, you know, he was there for me. But it won't the coolest arrangement ever though. Yeah. Like this dude was different. Yeah. You know, he was from up north, like Maryland, so and he just y'all know the folks. They good people. Yo, buddy was different though.
Yeah. Chris, how was your living arrangement?
We're gonna talk about Central. My living arrangement at Central. So, again, like I'm 20 minutes from the crib, so I'm thinking like I can just go home anytime I want to. Yeah. Nah, my grandma took my car. So at T, I had a car, so I was the man on campus. You freshman with a car, you the man on campus. But once I got to Central, that's when grandma lost her job and everything. I'm living off $20 a week. Like I was a catch me out at T, but in Central living arrangements, when my roommate walked in, First off, what dorm was you staying in? I was in Chitley.
Watch your back, watch your front, watch your side and your other side.
I was in Chitley, and this is when Chitley had just got the asbestos. So like most of the so half of campus was already like we was living on hotel. I had a good experience, man. Like my roommate, he was cool. My roommate was also gay. So that was a whole nother dynamic added to that. So, but he was cool as hell. Like I was not a fan of gay people going into that whole like because it was the era because like again like my uncles raised me, so it was like now you a man's man and all this and that, but. Like that's my homie. Like we still talk to this day.
And you know, chime in on that, and that was one of the times where coming out wasn't really the thing.
Correct.
You know, people it was something to get the black community. We held on to them changes for years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and when you learn the history of why we are so against that, you'll understand that you know it's hard to break certain mindsets when oppression is involved. When, you know what I'm saying, brutalization, when, you know what I'm saying, the killing of your folks, when the breaking their spirits down, it's hard to let them changes go. Luckily, gladly that they are real more open-minded. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, man, you know, I ain't got nothing to get. They're people. Ain't no people, it ain't even nothing to categorize.
At the time I did. Like I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, none of us did.
I was uncomfortable.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's like, you know, like, you now, how we're open-minded to people's sexual preference, it ain't none of our damn business.
Exactly.
But back then, people can be themselves nowadays, and with their God-given rights. You know what I'm saying? But like back then, you know, that was shunned upon. So it's good that you still talk to them.
Yeah,
that's the thing about college though, too. Yeah. Because it's a lot of people that you may have seen and known all the way through high school, but when they left here and went to wherever they became who they wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? So you know, and that's good for them.
Right.
It's many of people that went off to school, changed their name.
Right.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
do you know such a like nah like that's him like yo I've been on that ain't his name.
Yeah. You know John Blake.
Yeah, John Blake. Right. Yeah, they go to school. Right. Some of them turn from, you wore khakis and sweaters all the way through high school. Now you a thug when you're right. Like, who is that guy?
Yeah. Exactly. DC. The Chicago cap, man. I got a lot of family up there. It's like, if I didn't find my wife, that's where I was trying to make my way to. Not my family up there. Because of the guy, I love the movies.
I mean, DC, that's where it's at.
So
Don't call it capital cities for nothing.
Well,
For Howard, my whole time there, I was off campus.
okay.
Like I said before, that first year and a half, I was staying with family. Shouts out to my cousin Maurice and Connie Wynn. They took me in, and then after that, I just stayed in an apartment. And so I never really had the on-campus living experience at Howard. It was pretty much, at that time, it was pretty much class and then go home.
Yeah.
The way that course load was, and, when I ended up going to Howard, at that during undergrad, I did have that experience. I was on campus the whole time. I went to a PWI. I ain't gonna mention his name since it's talking about HBCU or whatnot. But my whole time there, I had a black roommate then, and that whole undergrad living arrangement, being in the dorms, had a similar situation to you. My first year and a half, because my roommate, he had a girlfriend. She wasn't in the 9th or 10th grade, nothing like that. She actually was at, I want to say she was at maybe John C. Smith or something like that. And so they would always be on the phone till like 12 o'clock. And I'd be like, dog. And it was just kind of like navigating that whole thing. I have 3 siblings, so I was used to, living with people. That wasn't a big deal. But I was kind of more on the neat side. So having that dynamic with somebody that, you're a little bit neater, but then you got a roommate that's not as neat. So, navigating that whole situation, I'm not the maid up in here, but, navigating that. And, that guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but that's my brother. We're still in contact. And, especially in school, undergrad, even in at Howard, you build relationships that, that you'll never forget. It's lifelong.
He said to his brother, you were nasty.
Yeah.
What was it like then? I had my best friend at Albert Johnson, one of my best friends in high school. Albert Johnson went to Bed State. When I went there, and I came to, went to the campus with her. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was being a teacher. You know what I'm saying? We was
we are on Murchison Road.
Yeah, like all on Bird. You know what I'm saying? So I thought I heard inmate number 0854219. We please got, you know what I'm saying? But it was all love. Y'all had the best reggae parts. But what was your living situation like your first year? Because it's crazy. I ain't even heard nobody mention a suite.
I did not live in a suite my freshman year. I was Jonah Hall. We had it was 2 floors in the residence hall, and it was I was on the 2nd floor, and it was bathroom on one end, bathroom on another. So it was like 60 guys shared 2 bathrooms, community style. Yes. It was some of the nastiest I have ever seen in my life. So that's how it was. That's how it was. My freshman year, I ended up having to switch roommates twice. The first time, me and him got in a fight. He was a pastor. He was a preacher at the time, and we friends today. But at the time, we won't.
Get on.
I got him. and so I ended up switching changing my roommate, and me and him today, we are still great friends. He lives in Greensboro actually, and but it was that was something. That was something different in the community style. I stayed in the suite style going into my sophomore year,
Right.
and it was the football dorm then, and that was the stinkiest, nastiest football dorm. Smelling like it was. I mean, but thank God they tore it down. They tearing it down, but it was something.
It's time.
Well, I did stay in the suite.
She was in the brand new suite.
She probably
I would say this. I was probably one of the few of my friends who stayed on campus all 4 years. Who want to go to school? Responsibility, like, dang, right? Like, who wants to rush to pay bills? And Ross and Tyler won't pay them. So, I stayed on campus. We had suites. I did not have my own room, and I didn't have my own room at all. Like, I had siblings. I don't really like to stay with people, but I made it work. My cousin was my roommate my freshman year, first semester, and I had my own by second semester.
You got her about the pay. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would it say go work?
You know it's an open room upstairs.
She was from Elizabeth City too, so then she just commuted back in from home. My sophomore year, I was roommates with Tasha is now one of my greatest friends. She was class of 97, Rocky Mount. We came into Elizabeth City not liking each other. Jesus. And it was like, we need to have a conversation. Over misunderstanding, but then we got
Exactly what it was.
Y'all know the weather change.
2 years I had a roommate that was in the band, and she liked to hang out and party and drink and smoke, and it was all right. By second semester, she moved off campus. So then, I had my sophomore year, that second semester, it was to myself. It was all right, but understand.
Housing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I did not, but I would say, just like men are nasty, so are females. My freshman year, I'm in the room and I see a bug come through they had the slat, those little square slats, right?
Not out her panties. Please don't say what.
No. The wall, and I'm like, how did it come from over? Where are they coming from? So then I see, another day later, I see one, and I go to the dorm director, and I'm like, there's some bugs somewhere. Yeah. Y'all already know what kind of bugs I'm talking about. So Orchid Man comes in, he looked in my room, he said, it ain't in here. I said, I know, it ain't in here. Go into that room, and it was just like, they come in, throw their stuff down, and I guess they were staying off the yard with their boyfriends, whatever. The room was nasty. He was like, you see that in there? We had those tall desks with the shelves underneath. When he pulled it down, it was food and trash coming out. And he was like, see that? That's an infestation.
Oh, wow.
I was just just the fact, the walk in there, it looked like quarters.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm so in awe, that's so sharp, because you graduated weed.
99.
That means her mama had to at least be born in 60-something, 50-something, and they ain't play that shit no nasty house. You woke up on Saturday morning, you woke up to gospel music. And get your ass up and clean up. You think you gonna get up and lay around on the side and sleep? Yeah, you gonna wake up and read British book. Some nigga, then gonna leave the room nasty.
But that's also that thing of that adjustment of, I'm now here. My mama and dad here. My man lived off campus. He was a city dude, so he got his own place.
Yeah.
This is just here so that my mama and them think.
That was so crazy. She probably won't go nowhere from the room to the trap. That nigga probably sold some drugs. From one nasty house to another nasty house. Anyway, Miss Mercer, what was your living arrangements like on Winston-Salem State University's campus?
My freshman year, so My friends, they were in Atkins Hall, which is an all-girls dorm across the campus. I was in Wilson. I told y'all my daddy went in there and regulated. So I ended up in the dorm with the upperclassmen and the athletes. And so we were in a sweet style dorm where I had a roommate. It was another room with 2 other girls, and we had a bathroom we shared and the living area. So I wasn't the whole community bathroom. We weren't on any of that. They were pretty clean for the most part. My sweet mate, she was in the band, so she was never there. The other one, she was kind of weird, so we kind of spoke in passing.
She's watching now.
Yeah, she tuned in.
But that's it. Listen, going to the HBCU, tell me that ain't the mind frame. Like, you in your room, he over there, if you in whatever, and like he do something like that, keep him up.
Yeah, she was just a little off, Roommate, she was cool. I think the first 2 or 3 weeks I didn't have a roommate. I don't know what happened. It wasn't my business. I just had a room to myself. She came in there. She was cool. She's from Goldsboro, I think. Yeah, she's from Goldsboro. We got along pretty good. We used to go to the caf together, go to the gym jams, go to the games. The only thing she did, go to the games.
They went to the gym jam. They went to the gym jam. She said,
the only thing she ever did,
they went to the gym jam.
they kind of caught me off guard was she was just like, don't judge me for what I'm about to do. And I was just like,
That sounds like
I need to get out, I need a room because I don't want to be involved in nothing crazy. And she snatched her wig off and I was like, oh, okay, like that was it. So I think she might have been the first girl I seen with a wig because I kept breathing, so wigs were new to me, and that's one thing I learned. I didn't know she was ahead of her time. She stayed with a wig. Her face stayed beat. Like, sis was ahead of her time. I was just like, okay. But as I got older, or as I, sophomore year, junior, I actually went to school for 5 years. I never had a roommate. I think my sophomore year I had a roommate. We didn't get along. She had to go. She moved out. Or I came back from Christmas break. She was gone. Her stuff was gone. Okay, then bye. Like, okay. So junior year and the rest of my years, I was alone. Like it was kind of like an apartment. Like it was 4 people. Everybody had their own room. And then 2 people shared a bathroom. And then we had a living room and a kitchen. So I never really got the whole community shower, staying with girls. But my friends told me stories. You found tampons and napkins. I actually think they had to put a sign up. They had to put a sign up and was just like, stop, because I didn't stay over there, but these are the stories out.
It ain't nothing like that.
They had to tell them to stop leaving condoms in the showers, and I was just like, what y'all got going on across the street? Like,
at least they was using.
Well, maybe I don't know. They left them on the shower. They left them on the floor. So who knows what's going on?
That's a PSA. When that goes on at Winston-Salem State.
You know what I'm saying? Sex in the shower.
We go on camera. We gonna reveal what A&T really stands for. Okay? We gonna tell the people what A&T really stands for. You wanna go there?
No,
okay. And you know what cabaret is in Greensboro?
So what we going?
Okay.
Sugar bear. Anyway.
Sugar bear.
Anyway,
That was Winston.
Oh wow.
That was
Sugar bear.
That was Get it right.
Nah, man. That's
3 seats. So,
We all have
I don't know nobody play.
I'm still on freshman year before I go into my big break. Was any of y'all the type that went home every weekend? Because you had those types that would be homesick. I went home maybe like 3 times during semester. Because the one thing, man, that I want to address, man, going to college kind of different. Like, when you come back home, the love you think you gonna get, it ain't there.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, brother, you get one little couple of prison, you know, they graduate college. You can call, I ain't seen the man in 3 months. Oh, what you doing, bro? All right, I got you. Never seen him. You know what I'm saying? You walk through the mall, they don't even give you a chance to look. Oh, they on the college boys, they can't speak. They can't speak, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that mentality right there kind of kept me away from here because the Lord was in Greensboro around new people. Well, you was a football player, so of course you couldn't go home every weekend, but did that take a toll on you? Was you homesick or was you living that life?
Always, you know, you be there all summer, whatever, all the way through football season. I get to come home for Christmas break. I used to get one day. I could come home on Thanksgiving Day, but I had to go right back. Then I would come home for Christmas break. I would get Christmas break, and then right back to playing baseball. I didn't fly home, but I would get homesick though.
Right.
Like, you know, I grew up, me and my grandmother was super duper close.
Right.
So I would have times where I would wake up on some days and be like, yo, I don't care what I gotta do today, I'm gonna see my grandma. So that would be it though.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wasn't on every weekend thing or just once, probably every 2-3 months. I'd be like, yo, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah. Chris, what was it like, man? You know, you right up the road.
Mine was like once a month, man. Again, like me and 6 others. So like on the room at the house and come back and just chill and kick it or whatever, man. So grandma would come up probably, she'll come up, get me. Main purpose was to come take me grocery shopping and wash my clothes.
Right.
So yeah, so like she'll come pick me up that Friday, I'm back at school at Saturday.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so
Tyrone.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on this topic. I'm gonna speak to like undergrad,
Okay.
like freshman year. My whole time undergrad, I never came home.
Yeah.
I stayed right on campus.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come back. I was right there until they kicked us out for like, you know, around the summertime.
Yeah.
I never came home. Only like Christmas, something like that. And my roommate at the time, he was pretty much the same way. He was from Charlotte, so he really didn't have the opportunity to go. And him and I, man, we used to just kick it.
You had care to come?
Nah.
Hey,
Nah, I really didn't. I enjoyed my time. I really did. I just enjoyed my time. I wasn't, you know, too far away, but at the same time, you know, if I wanted to, then I would. But I didn't want to come back. I enjoyed my time. You know, on the weekends, there was always something to do. And then, you know, found new friends, you know, down there, and there was always something to do.
Right.
You know, and to me, that was one of the cool things about having a roommate was that he had people that he knew from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Was like, you know, met new people through him, and then we would all just get together, and you know, we just hang out. You know what I'm saying? And then they would know people, and so we just all, you know,
playing spades.
Yeah.
This is big, yo.
I came home. We got kicked off campus when the flood came in Fayetteville, and I ended up back in Rocky Mount for almost a month before I could get back to Fayetteville.
Was glass council for that month?
Rose was flooded out.
Yeah, the road was flooded. That was the one for Floyd.
Oh, okay.
That was going Floyd in '99.
Okay.
So
first year there.
Yep, freshman year, and they told us we had to leave campus. We had to vacate campus and came home and got stuck. So, but I didn't come home every weekend. It was always something to do in Fayetteville. I ended up going to Raleigh. At the time, my cousin was a freshman at East Carolina, so he would come. I would go to East Carolina to see him, or he would come down to Fayetteville.
Y'all had cars? It's freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Y'all had cars?
I had my car. I had my car until my mom saw my grades, and she said, I'm taking you back, but your car not going back with you until you get your grades up. So, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. That was a but my roommate had a car, so that was good.
I did not come home a lot. My daddy, at the time, my dad worked at.
It was all school. Yeah, right. It was already there.
My dad at the time was working at Cummins, so getting off at 5 o'clock to come get me on a Friday was like not in the picture. If I could catch a ride, I would. But on Saturday, he was a football person, so football game on campus, he coming up. So I mean, I went home, you know, the regular Thanksgiving, fall break, Christmas, and unless something was going on or I needed some money and I needed to go work, I didn't come home. And in the summers, like my mom lived in Minnesota, so I would go there for the summer. So I won't really, you know, I would come back a little bit to work back to school here, and that was it. But once sophomore year and up, I was in summer school. Then I started working, so I started coming home less. Even when I got my car my junior year, I still didn't come home, you know, that much. But not outside the regular. We won't run home every weekend. No, he won't come back and forth up the road, no way.
Miss Mercer.
I didn't come home. That's just it. I mean, the holidays, you know, my parents would come get me. I didn't. I was.
Nobody miss home.
No, it was no. And then a lot of the girls I would hang with, we were all from, like, one of my friends actually, we went to middle school, high school, and went to together. She was always home. Like, her mama came with her all the time. And if she watches, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, her mama she's the only child too. Yeah, she was she was always home. But and then as I got older, when I got a car up there, and I had put gas in there, you know, I'm like, but I didn't go home. It was always something going on. It was either a game, it was a gym jam, it was a probate, it was just something going on. Just what's at home? I want to come home.
Only reason I came home, cause I used to try to call myself selling weed. So it should be hollering there. So I go down here, holler at my boy, hey, give me some. Go back up there. You know, it ain't worked out well, you know, up there. You know, I got in trouble up there, messing with this. So kids, when you go to school. Don't go to school to try to do nothing illegal, cause it don't work out. We're gonna take a little break right here. I'm gonna let the DJ rock out. You know what I'm saying? We'll give y'all a little kind of vibe. So DJ Strays, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like to go chat back. The people podcast, DJ Strays, he dropped it. Welcome back to Goat Chat is back. HBCU College Night Edition. Okay. We're here a little tired, y'all. I had to run up the stairs right quick and get a breath. Okay, now I'm back. Alright, y'all, so we got our acceptance letters. We figured out where we're going. We're in your caps. So we got our workload, going to class. So now we're gonna talk about the first. Jason, tell us what it was like being a student athlete.
It was privilege.
It was a privilege. And you ain't got to tell me, because I think the biggest of the biggest with a red ball.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. It was privilege.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we was able to win MEAC championship my 99 year, and you know, I was a starting quarterback, and I had a classmate I literally would go to the class at 120. You know what I'm saying? Didn't care what the professor was at. He'd be like, hey man, who we playing this week? What we doing? I'm like, okay, yep, I got an A in here. I ain't got to worry about this. It was, you know, it was privilege, man. You know. But when you losing, hey, buddy, you better be in class on time. Ain't nobody got no play.
Basketball team.
Yeah,
That was basketball team.
You better
Football team, good. Basketball team.
Hey.
Everybody smoking weed. They cut it. Buying weed for me. You know what I'm saying?
And they ain't care nothing about you being a baseball player, so they gave you double work for that. So, other than that, man, it was cool though. It was cool, real privilege. You know, just good time. Man.
You said you wanted to play baseball or football, but it didn't work out. Was there anything else that you participated in extracurricular? Was it any sports?
Just intermittals.
Man,
Nah, nothing. Just intermittals, bro. Like I just out and about being with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like we had Chicken Wednesday and 1040 break. Yeah. So
Chicken wings.
that's the central thing, man.
Yeah.
They play the DJ to the Cavs. Everybody wearing their best attire.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. HBCU chicken wings.
I didn't know it was that. Didn't know it was
And you better get that girl
that.
chicken, the red chicken that's been cooking in the grease.
That's like Big Bubba. That's like Big Bubba for soul food. They bring in a whole new Tyrone, baby, did you pledge or band or anything while you was in school? You was in the band house.
Yeah, man. And I was close to actually going, rest in peace, Mr. Brower. I was this close to going to Norfolk State. Like I had a scholarship to go there and whatnot. And
hold on, I hate to interject. For people that don't know who Mr. Brown is, can you please enlighten?
He was a band teacher at Rocky Mount Senior High. Yes, I remember my senior and my junior year in school. He was actually talking to me about Norfolk State, talking about what my plans for, after high school, encouraging me to go to college. I mean, he was like a real MVP. Like, if I had no other opportunity, he was like, yo, I got you. I can get you in Norfolk State. You know what I'm saying? And I know countless other people he did that for that came through the band. Right. You know, he was a real, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so for, that's one of my regrets is that I didn't pledge, especially undergrad. I was this close and just missed it. Not gonna say, because still thinking about doing grad chat. Okay. But I ain't gonna say. But that's one of the regrets that I didn't.
Okay.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it would have been a good experience, But during undergrad, It was more so like intramurals, that type stuff. They had stuff with like, student affairs. My sophomore year and then on, I was already in the dorms. And so we used to have to plan events for the people in the dorms. So they used to take up a lot of my time. And so I used to be with them doing those different events, stuff like that. Besides that and just hanging out, that was it. At Howard, they had a pharmacy fraternity that I joined. It wasn't, it was more so, like professional. So we would do like community service, stuff of that nature. And, nothing really, that intense. Intense, but not too bad because, we're still trying to get out of here, trying to breathe and stuff, So, we ain't have to worry about the paddles and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? Quote unquote, allegedly.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. So it was that, and then pretty much there were some other, like professional organizations like APHA that kind of had you, they gave you exposure to different job career paths in pharmacy and things of that nature. And so that was pretty much it.
One thing that I want to interject with again, man, I hate you keep saying the same word. I hate being repetitive, man. From the sounds of it, man, the HBCU took care of y'all outside of, graduation. You know what I mean? And that's what, I love about the body. If you were serious, I don't care where you go, if you got a black woman teacher at that, she pretty much your mom. If she see how much, you know what I'm saying? If she see how much you're dedicated, and she see how much, especially young black men. I don't know why, I know why, but when black women see young black men trying, they automatically become nurturers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want to shout out all the HBCUs for that and those that's in position to help people that, when we graduate, we don't know exactly what we're going to do. Y'all help us find that path.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that real quick, if you don't mind. Like when I was searching and I was trying to get into pharmacy school, I had said earlier, like how they were like I had to get these like volunteer or experience hours at a pharmacy. So everybody from Rocky Mount, there was so at the time I was trying to get these. I was trying to get a job at a pharmacy. I was trying to volunteer. So I went to just about every pharmacy in Rocky Mount. Like I'm not gonna mention any names. There was some in Oakwood, some on Sunset. I ain't gonna mention any names, but I'm going and I'm like, I would go and say, hey, I'm trying to get in Howard, and I just need, either, I would volunteer, just to get these hours or whatnot. And so there was a Rite Aid off of Raleigh Road beside Ebenezer. And there was a pharmacist there. His name was William McLaughlin. I don't know if any of y'all remember him. He was the head pharmacist at that Rite Aid right beside Ebenezer. He's a black guy. And so I went there one day, and I went up to him, and he was a pharmacist, pharmacy manager at that location. And I told him, and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go to pharmacy school, and I'm just, I'll volunteer, whatnot. And he was working, right? And he was like, let me talk to you real quick, right? And he took me, like, to the back in the stock room, like, went from, doing prescriptions and whatnot, took me to the back room, and, like, he had this convo with me. And William, he actually went to Howard, too. Ended up finding out later. He was a class, I want to say 73 in the 70s or whatnot. And so he took me to the back, and, I mean, he had this convo with me, and I just met this man, right? And he had this, like, it's kind of like Roots meets Lean on Me. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't ask me if I smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he gave me this speech, talking about, hey, do you know who you are? Being black, consciousness, thinking on another level or whatnot. And I'm just going to here, just trying to get a job and trying to get these hours. And on the spot, he gave me a job right then. And I was able to get my hours, and that's how I was able to get my hours to go to Howard, which was from another Howard alum and it was just that connection, and that's what, the thing about HBCUs is that once you go to the HBCU, when you see somebody else trying to do something, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to help bring you along too, because like all those other pharmacies that I went to, they could have did the same thing that he did. They could have, hired me on the spot too, but it was only that man that gave me the opportunity. Like Howard gave me the opportunity to go to school. And then he also gave me the opportunity by giving me a job so I could get the hours to go to school.
It's sad that you couldn't even work for free.
Yeah, I mean,
but you know why you couldn't work for free? You know why you couldn't work for free?
They would say, it was like laws and stuff.
I would say this is because.
But shouts out to William.
But besides the laws, you couldn't work for free because they say, well, if this man willing to work for free, imagine how hard he willing to work to take my spot.
Yeah, and it really opened my mind in terms of seeing. That's why it's important to have people in positions of influence, to where when they see you, they can actually put you on. You know what I'm saying? It would be totally different. Like if he didn't have the position that he was in, and he was just, let's say, like the tech, he could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put in a word for you. But no, he was the actual guy, decision maker, that was like, right then, I'm gonna give you this opportunity, come back, you hired, you wanna start next week. It's important to have people in those positions. And then actually once you're in those positions, not minding, to help others. You know what I'm saying? Once you get there as well.
Mr. Pitt, we knew you played band in school. Did you carry that on to college?
I thought I was going to carry it with me to college, but it was not the same. Mr. Brower, we were core style. When I got to Fayetteville State, it was a show band. So it was totally different. Okay. It was a totally different vibe.
Okay.
So when I got to Fayetteville State, I did try out, got in the band and the meetings and all. I was like, this is not for me. Okay. This is not for me at all. So I ended up transitioning into chorus. Okay. So I was in choral. I was Fayetteville State University. I did gospel choir and I did the choral ensemble while I was at Fayetteville State. Then pledge at Fayetteville State. I did graduate chapter. So my years was at singing, and I was in student activities council. Okay. And while I was at Fayetteville State.
Did you have a course like in grade school, like a high school or something like that? That ain't nobody tell me that.
Y'all get class and sing or sing.
Ain't nobody tell me shit.
We had songs. We had
a singing program.
That's what I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying. Yeah, nobody told me. Nobody said, Mac, what you gonna do on the trial? Yeah, she gonna send a video. We know y'all on the campus, so when you got to, did you do anything extra like I know you pledged. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So, coming in, I've always been active in this stuff. Like, I've never been afraid to just get out there and try something. So I was, in a part of the class, I was like Mrs. Freshman, I think, or something like that. I was a part of Vikings and
I can see that flex right there, Jason. Yeah. With that on so ways. Hey, there's two people up here flexing. I don't care y'all who. Yeah. But they're two of them. But they were side each other.
I was Vikings assistant to students. We did the freshman orientation. So every year we would do tours, bring them around, and we would actually go to this big conference during spring break where all the freshman orientation leaders from other schools would come, and it was dope because we always, Bethune-Cookman was there every year. So, to be able to link up with other HBCUs, we in Kentucky, we're in Louisiana, and we all linking up and, exchanging stories and different things like that. So then, of course, my sophomore year, I did pledge the best sorority in the land, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Founded in Howard, January 13th, 1913. I pledged in 2001, Delta Chi Chapter. So it was an experience.
I went to your program.
Yes, my program. It was a night. It's an experience. It's an experience, and a lot of things. You hear people talk about things that happen, and at the end of the day, you got to just remember that you're gonna get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's mental.
Right.
It's mental.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I watched the school days when I seen my man stick his hand in the toilet and he squeezed it down. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, that's good because you really think you squeeze the shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell. Like if you in that position and you stick your hand in the toilet stool and you they probably got you in the bathroom so it's already funky and you just squeeze it. Oh, Jesus.
but in that moment you saying, I'ma do this so I'm gonna do this for Delta.
Yeah.
And my line sisters in front of me did it. And I heard them come out, so I ain't gonna die.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, it's a process I won't, go through. I will say, I had a lot of support here because of Delta's here in Rocky Mount, just that were teachers and they came, before me. So they that helped out a lot. After that, however, you still have to go to class and do your work.
Exactly. Right.
Because if your GPA falls, then it was for nothing.
Right.
But I had a little slip in my GPA. So then that next semester, my dad said, you better go to school and go to class every day and do all your work. And I came out of there that next semester with a 3.5. Because I mean, it's a task of going to class all day, then you up all night, and you got to get up and do it all over again. But it's an experience. I'll be 20 years in this April. Mm-hmm. So other than that, I hung out. I mean, I went to class, hung out in the yard. When it was nice outside like today, you were ready to get done with class.
I already know the class is where it's at. The class is where it's at.
Yep. You would just go and sit out and just have a good time. I ain't staying in the room.
I used to do one about the liquor. I used to walk past the class, but I I wanted to get you all too. Ms. Murphy, did you participate in anything extracurricular while you was on there?
1 year I did this organization called Black Women for Change. They were just a community service organization. I told you I'm an introvert, contrary to what y'all might believe. I'm actually shy. So you alright over there? You see something?
Y'all just
I have to warm up too, so I'm warmed up to y'all.
Don't say nothing. Don't breathe.
But no, I wasn't. Each year I would help like the freshmen move in and stuff like that. But nothing. I was just at every function. I wasn't the ones planning it. They were great functions though. But I was kind of kept myself besides the few people I would hang with. So.
Jason, in October, it was going to be between the second or third week.
It's been the fourth. The fourth, yeah.
Okay.
It this past year would have been Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving. Halloween.
Okay.
Halloween. Gio. I know that's where you going.
That Monday, when the festivities start. Now, they did it. You special.
Yeah.
You got a uniform.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to go shopping.
Can't do nothing.
You ain't even got to go shopping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, you say you can't do nothing then, but y'all had to play the game.
Yeah.
After the game, tell the world, because I experienced for years. Tell the world what that GO experience is like.
Oh, well, MSC experience like none other. I mean, you got.
Can I interject?
Go ahead. Speak up.
What year?
2003.
No, I'm talking about high school.
98. Class of 98.
Class of 98.
Rocky Mount High School.
Class of 98, Rocky Mount High School. When your school was at A&T Homecoming for the concert. Because I remember.
Oh, that's a great question because I ain't even make it to the concert for not for them reasons. I ain't gonna say not them reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might be somebody watching, not them reasons. I was tired. Yeah, there you go. I was tired.
My eyes was red because I was tired. Because there was the days of page. He didn't reply to the page because he was yes. Red man, method man. I think they had he murdered. It was
Yeah, but look, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. What I do remember about that night though was it was campus was packed. Of course, it was homecoming. People tailgating there, but like soon as the 6:30, it was nobody on campus. It was nobody outside. They was gone.
Yeah. And the city is live.
Yeah, I mean everybody was at the Coliseum or the Coliseum parking lot or whatever.
Oh, you at the I'm sorry. Oh,
now it was too early for George Cage right
yeah, okay,
it was too early.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah,
It was too early right
but yeah, it's like I'm sorry. I was there. That Monday start. Ain't no telling who you gonna see walking on campus.
You getting a little bit too excited.
Sorry.
He done started right now. He done got excited.
A man that don't get out.
So what you do?
Sometimes they gotta relive the moment.
I don't want you to go too far, man.
Yeah,
Let's stay here. Let's stay here. Let's stay here. It's good time though, man. It's great time. And really, it's what's so good about it. And I know everybody homecoming like that. Man, people coming back from everywhere. And what's weird about HBCU homecoming is, it's like, man, people just come out there with grills and just cook out all week. And don't know you were so much. It's so much love because you get some food, man. Go eat. Get your son to eat, you know.
Man,
and it's nice. Yeah.
So many beautiful.
It's grills and fried fish.
Man, what? The grills, the best grills you will ever have in your life. To be at an HBCU homecoming.
And you gonna find a bucket of pig feet. Cook it somewhere.
Man, they gonna find it.
You gonna find that stuff at the game,
Yeah,
like HBCU, like fried fish in the back. You might have big feet. You might come up on the porch out.
It's a nigga ain't even supposed to be out there selling food. He out there selling food. He out there shit.
Guarantee you that.
Yo,
and you gonna walk for forever because it ain't no park nowhere. It ain't no park nowhere.
Oh, you make part.
You gonna make it for it.
Yeah.
No,
You park in that grocery store.
Big brothers, you all that Big brothers parking lot. You all the Classic Avenue, you all at the cookout.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about, because every street is live.
Nah, you cross the street at the bottom. All the way over
all the grass and riverboat, all those riverboat. In front of my damn house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, geez, but hey,
It's a good week though, man.
Man, listen, hey, and we ain't even who won the damn game.
Nah. Yeah. Hey, look, the funny thing is, the funny thing about it is, you don't even think the ass till about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
The thing about the HBCU is, it don't matter who wins the damn game. Once we see family, because that's what we all know.
Yeah.
If we all had to originate for two people, a black man and a black woman. So somewhere down the line, we all cousins. So once we see family, the hell with that game. Just like on school day, the boys lost about 56 to 4. But guess what was popular after that? The damn pajama jackets. You know what I'm saying?
Like that remind you talk about movies earlier. You go back to Poetic Justice, right?
Yeah.
You don't remember when Tupac and stop? You like Cousin Pete. You know, come on, man.
Hey, Chris, what was it like in
You
town?
talking about me?
Hey, not just homecoming.
I gotta do it. How y'all gonna be the
Hey, go we can run the coach.
Y'all had to still our coach to start back winning.
Nah, man. It ain't scary, man. It ain't scary.
We didn't want no more. We didn't want no more. So he went over down there to Greensboro.
You gonna take more money? Is somebody else offering you more money right now?
We're talking dollars.
Okay, all right. Ain't talking to coach.
Hey, Chris, what was it like, man, doing y'all week of homecoming, man?
I mean,
That E-Funk life.
yeah, look at me crazy. But nah, it's love, man. It's love. I mean, you got comedy shows, concert. We ain't had no concert, though.
Y'all have been in Raleigh one time? Y'all used to have like a little black tie fan of Raleigh.
Nah. Biggest thing in Central, we had the
Was A&T on?
Nah. It
Yeah, y'all did use the party test. Either way.
They got the concert. Their homecoming game is a soccer match.
Nah, it's the parties, bro. It's the parties after. It's the parties after, man. It's the parties after.
Hey, look. Hey, Tyro, did you catch P. Diddy down there? Cause this. Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, man. I wanted to go to Howard, but I knew my parents' pockets won't go able to afford it. But like when I heard Biggie say at Howard homecoming, look at my man Capone, you should know my Steve Low. You know what I'm saying? That, like he put that business out. Like Big Smalls talk about Howard homecoming. Then you hear about Puff Daddy coming back every year to throw them homecoming parties. You know what I'm saying? Did you catch a homecoming while you was at Howard, or was you?
I had to catch a homecoming.
Had to, man. It wasn't like
Our pharmacy school building, it was kind of like down the hill from the yard. So my first 2 years, they used to have something. Like for the most part, I think most HBCUs, it's like they have like a thing every day. They'll have an artist, hip hop day, whatever. But then on Friday, they used to have something on the yard called Yard Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like I remember my first year, I mean, we'd be in class. People were already on the yard. You hear all this noise, they had the speakers going, DJ going, and we're in class like, I'm ready to get up out of this mother. People, some people were just like, we just gonna pass the road, we'll sign your name. But, somebody had to take the L and actually show up and whatnot. In Yard Fest, man, it was just an event. I know. I think my last 2 years they stopped it for whatever reason, but those first 2 years, man, it would just be everybody on campus, and of course, you would have people that didn't go around the area. People would just show up, come on the yard, of course, they're coming out. Everybody's coming out. People from Morgan. Everybody's coming up,
And the question I want to ask, man, like I said, I got family in DC. So, like, I never caught a Howard homecoming. And throughout all my years, like, especially when I went to A&T, you pretty much had to pick and choose. Because if I spent all my money at A&T, there's no way I could afford a Howard homecoming. They used it back to back, you know what I'm saying? So, was it heavily go-go influence?
Nah, I wouldn't say it's too much go-go. But like, for example, at like Yard Fest, it was kind of like a concert on campus. Right. Like the year that I went, the headliner was, it was free. You just go in the yard. Yeah. They had a stage and whatnot. The headliner was Rick Ross. He came on last. They had, what's his name? The reggae. Yeah, hit him with Mr. Vegas. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was there. A couple other people, their names are escaping me. And I mean, it was just, a party on campus, on the yard. I mean, it was an awesome time. So that was Friday. And then, of course, later on that evening, they would have parties on campus or whatnot. People would already start, kind of setting up their tents and stuff for homecoming the next day. Like we're talking about with the grills and all that stuff, taking up people's parking spots and whatnot. Yeah. And then, downtown DC, a lot of clubs and bars like Park, Rose Bar, whatever place, they would have, Howard homecoming. So they would normally have like an artist, they would be over there and whatnot. And then the actual homecoming day, they would have like the parade or whatnot. And, everybody would be posted up. They had like the bookstore was down the street from the actual football stadium. And that's where a whole lot of people would be grilling. And it was just, it's just nothing but love. That's one thing that I love about homecoming. Because I mean, legit, just like we were saying earlier, like I would legit like not know people. And then they'd be like, hey, cuz, hey, you want something? You know what I'm saying? And then you just meet like crazy people. You know what I'm saying? And like people from like, they might be from Atlanta. Might be somebody from Arkansas. But then it's still all love and it's still like it's all fam.
Y'all had the women coming from Arkansas. Because you say people, but when you say people, I know.
But I'm telling you, everybody, and at the same time, it's DC. Yeah. So DC is nothing but a big melting pot anyway. Everybody's, And so it's always love and you would just meet so many people and, you would just vibe and connect and, I enjoy it. But our team wasn't that good either. We would catch some L's. It was kind of like something similar where you'd be like, you been thinking about the game, like who won. I know recently we played A&T, and I was like, man, that's all I was like,
What was that Bronco homecoming like?
It was a great homecoming. Freshman year, of course, we had Juvenile. I remember that concert. We had Juvenile. Juvenile was there. I ain't gonna lie, our football team was sorry my freshman year, and we lost homecoming. And ended up. I remember we had a pre-dawn breakfast, and a whole fight broke out in the cafeteria because somebody had called the football team sorry. And then I remember people getting hit. One of my good friends got hit with the platter. It was a big fight here. It was a huge fight. They went from really being on Murchison Road. Yeah. But just like the events during the week, the same events, step shows. I mean, it was just all love, and down in Fayetteville, and everybody enjoyed themselves. It was just you seeing people that previously graduated from Fayetteville State, and you had some that attended Fayetteville State and didn't graduate, but they came back. So so it was just there. And then before you know it, I remember my junior year, I ended up going to A&T homecoming one year because my roommate at the time, his brother was there, so we ended up going to A&T homecoming. It was on the opposite weekend. So, we ended up one time going to Elizabeth City homecoming. So it was just, the love of it, the love of it, of homecoming and being there. And I did go to Central one time, but, that very they didn't have a concert.
You gotta get real home with the bed.
One time.
Elizabeth City State University. Did you plan the homecoming student?
Because we are filmed, I would keep my fingers down. In my brain, I gave you homecoming was always dope. Of course, your first homecoming is like, we had to go to Virginia to go to the mall. We just did. And, you buy outfits. And, I remember calling Dave and I was like, can you please go to, what was it? It was the boot stores where Journeys is now in the mall. And I had some Durango boots on there. I said, can you please
I know you're talking about.
bring my boots
I forgot.
downtown station, something.
Underground station, yeah. I do somebody working down to get $10-$50. Shout out to you.
I had the Durango boots.
Oh, wow. I know him, but you know who he is. Sir, you know him. Yeah. I wish you still there.
The Durango boots were in then, so I had my boots with my matching belt and my little, jean outfit. And I remember we stayed outside at the time. They hadn't built the middle of campus, and you could just drive right through. And we stayed out there on that strip all night long. You just walk up and down, and then of course the next morning the parade. And I don't think I went to too many parades in undergrad because the parade was at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Hold on, you walked up and down the strip in Durango boots?
I have a breakdown.
Cuteness over comfort.
Okay.
Cuteness over comfort. You learn now. I'm gonna have on some Nikes. I'm gonna have on some Air Max. I'm coming down. I ain't even. That was totally different, but that cuteness over comfort.
Hey, 19 then.
Right, I was 19, and you cute,
Yeah.
But the game, it was definitely love. My mom would come back in, and that, I didn't see my mom but special occasions. So get that time in with my mom. My dad would be there. My family would drive down from Indiana. So it was double love, for homecoming because it was like everybody is home. After I pledged, I stepped for 2 homecomings. So then homecoming was a little different because we practicing.
Right.
So game, we couldn't go to the game because we got to get ready for the show. And then, of course, we had a social where all the sorors would come back and hang out. So homecoming is still, to this day, like, it's odd if you don't go.
Yeah.
I think my last homecoming that I went to, I was 6 months pregnant and set up as a vendor selling jewelry. Like, I'm going to be there.
Right. And like I said, and even like 37 years old, and I call myself honorary alumni. At 37 years old, even though I feel like if I don't go, I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I got to wait till somebody, I talk to somebody the next day, like, shit on all that. Because they don't plan, they tell me this. They say, I can't, they ain't gonna never hear it though. Yeah, they say, I can't, you know, you got them old heads, I know what's called. Then I know, he don't do too much. I can let me call him and see. I can't look at nobody's stories and all that because they gonna make it seem illustrious. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, even at the age of 37, man, like I might not know these new artists and all that, but like I still remember guys I was at school with 20 years ago. We Facebook friends and all that, and like my homecoming, especially the ones that graduate. And like, man, you coming up? I see I can do. You know what I'm saying? I see what I can do. You know what I mean? The wife and that, because I'm not one that I'm not one to act like one of the men that could move like his own purpose. You know what I'm saying? His own time. Because I understand I got to help raise the children just like my wife do. So, you know, she got to sit at home and watch Leah while I'm in the club popping the box. Everybody knows what they're going to do to pop them things.
I'll be right there with you. Come on, let's go.
How was it? I mean, how hard was it following your A&T homecoming? Like, you know, y'all 30 minutes up the road, and y'all got to, you get to witness, like, y'all right there at G-Ho. Y'all hear about G-Ho. Y'all, we got all up the street, like, oh, we having a good time. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest homecoming on earth. So I can, like, you know, he way in Fayetteville, she way in Mississippi. He a little bit up the road. He don't know what's going on. He did you right around the corner. How tough was that? Like, what did y'all do to follow that?
Just remember, this his show.
Yeah, I don't come to the
Yeah, she was about to get you.
I want to remind you. I was all homecoming.
Homecoming is coming home. It definitely is different from being in undergrad and then going back as alumni. It's just amazing. Like, we actually start homecoming on Sundays. They light a homecoming song. They had the DJ, they had the band. 1 year in undergrad during homecoming, they actually had the NBA players. They came and did like the exhibition games. So it was LeBron and Steph Curry and D Wade and all those Chris KD, Chris Paul. You know, Chris Paul isn't Ram down. Where does my camera? Chris Paul is a Ram. So yeah, it's amazing. I was sad last year when homecoming was canceled. I'm hoping we haven't gotten our alert like Elizabeth City, but
we have ours too.
Yeah. Okay, it's okay. It was
third weekend.
going on.
Yeah, I told you.
But no,
Y'all have y'all?
No, it's
on. We coming. We already say the best for last, but it's awesome. I wouldn't miss it. I love it. Take off on Thursday through Sunday right now. But yeah, homecoming is coming home. It's amazing. Never a dull moment. Even G-Ho. Okay, that's about it. That's the only one I've been to. I give y'all that. I have. They I told you.
That's all.
But in the past years, I will say G-Ho has been the pregame for our homecoming. So there we go.
I respect.
Okay. So yeah. So this year I'm at everybody homecoming. So y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Put y'all on my calendar. We on a
Right, and I will say, one thing about Fayetteville State, one of our biggest games is always against Elizabeth City State and Winston-Salem State. So it's feel like it's another homecoming again when we play those two schools.
Yeah. And Down East Classic is like another homecoming because they made sure that it's a team you know, where there are a lot of alumni here.
Right.
You know, we've had a few
Except
off
for
years. We did Morehouse.
Morehouse.
One year they had Morehouse, and Morehouse came
And
out
then
of
one year
nowhere.
they had,
And they had
But the
big-
greatest is fed.
Yeah,
The greatest is
right.
fed.
I think they realized that, you know,
You can't break tradition.
you're gonna get, even though we're gonna have, people are gonna come.
yeah.
But if they
If
want,
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
right. So keep the schools that are gonna bring the people that have the alumni in the area that you're at. But that's a second homecoming, because people who can't come to homecoming, they're gonna come to Down East. And you know, September figure, like, that's an all.
And then
That's
don't
all.
don't the Masons throw a party around that time too, they be jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Y'all do turn Rocky Mount up. That's one thing I will give this city. Y'all do turn Rocky Mount up for me.
It's a lot of it.
In Rocky Mount.
My last topic, man, on my
College from Rocky Mount.
Huh?
I didn't think the people from Rocky Mount didn't go anywhere else but Little City.
Because of the incentive scholarship. So they had the North Carolina incentive scholarship was for 20 Eastern North Carolina counties that were not deemed underprivileged, but for kids who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to go for financial reasons. So you had grades and you lived in these counties, which were really Rocky Mount on East. Then you basically went for free as long as you maintained the GPA. It was it was a 4 year. As long as you had the GPA, you had the scholarship. So that was an opportunity for people to go. And it was originally a teachers college. So, you know, you got a lot of educators that will go. I won't tell you how much it was. My mama keep telling me it was only $100 a semester.
Oh my God.
Good thing.
So we done went to school, got past our freshman year, we done had fun, and we experiencing the college life or whatever. The plan is when you get the college, I don't know, is it 120-hour credits or something like that? It should take you 4 years to graduate, right? 4 years.
They told us that freshman orientation. They told us 46.
Or 46. How long did it take y'all to get out? How long did it take y'all because I know I was in college forever and never graduated. You know what I'm saying? How long did it take y'all to get out of there, to get your degree?
Almost 6. 5, yeah, definitely 5.5. 5 full and a half.
Because it was more so like you got a full load. So to graduate, you got to take pretty much 15 hours per semester.
Something like that.
But 12. But 12
What as an athlete, what was your max that they would allow you to take?
15. 15, you could take over 15 if that was the semester you needed to graduate. But other than that, though, you get 15 hours.
You had a lot of 1 hour classes, didn't you?
Once I got
Music
into my
majors and PE majors, I heard they had a lot of 1
yeah, but once you get into your major, I mean, everything was like 3-hour credits or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just took a while. I got put out of class, got put out of school for a semester.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I got put out a couple semesters. Yeah, how long it take you to get out of there, man? I know you said a couple schools first, but how long did it take you before you finally got that degree?
It did before I did 3 years in Central C. Most of my credits didn't transfer from A&T. So
You know what I'm saying?
I was fucking up, but every semester I actually had to overload to graduate on time. So I had to get all this paper slot and everything. So I did 21 hours every semester to graduate on time.
You didn't go to the parties on Thursday.
I did. I did what I wanted to do.
Right, that's why I got the
I still did what I wanted to do.
Tyrone, well, how many years did it take you to get that piece of paper in your hand?
For undergrad, it was 5 for undergrad. Messing around one semester, a couple. Well, semester there. So there for extra year undergrad, and then for pharmacy school, it was 4 years.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I made it out of there 4 years. I ain't had to stay long. Yeah.
Mr. Pitt.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5 in every summer school.
Every summer.
Every summer school. I was at summer school. I was at summer school, and I had to take off a semester because in 2001 I was diagnosed with seizure disorder. So I was having seizures.
Okay.
So I had to sit out and go to doctors and stuff, and then I went back. So I that semester. So I was December of 2003.
Okay.
So luckily, and now I'm in this doctoral program. And it's nice people.
I was scared to even ask the person that.
It's
I took
three.
all my, look, we had this thing in our house. My daddy would say, if it's a 4-year program, you got 4 years.
Yeah.
If it's a 5-year program, I'm gonna give you 5. So whatever you gotta do to get it done in 4. So I went to summer school, sophomore year, my junior year, to make sure that it happened. And I might have took a class over.
And for the viewers that's watching, summer school in college ain't like summer school in grade school. It's not the same. It's not, you're not going to summer school because you didn't go to school because you slept or because you failed. It's just that, like you said, you got to catch up on them extra credits. Like, if you ain't want to carry that whole 18-hour course load per semester, you might say, well, I do 12 here, 12 here. I'm going to be here in the summer anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I take some classes in the summer. So don't get, if you're a youngin out there and you're interested in going to college, summer school ain't like, plunking in. You know what I mean?
I would take the classes that I knew, and like I took World Lit 1 and 2 in summer school because I knew that that's 6 weeks worth of reading versus a semester worth of reading, or federal income taxation. Let's go ahead and get it done. 6 weeks, let's get it out of the way. So those classes that you knew that you didn't want to deal with a whole semester, go ahead and put them in summer school.
And ain't nobody gonna be up there in the summer anyway, so it ain't not a distraction.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Come to find when you take those summer school classes, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, because you ain't got the whole game, right? I did better in summer school than I did, like I said, because it wasn't a whole lot of distraction. I was up there. I had to go shout out first, and I want to take the time out too. But I want to shout out the Colin McBean. I want to shout out Dexter Austin, Reese Whitaker, Brent. I want to shout out Brent. I think his name Aaron or something like that. Shane. Yeah, Brent. I want to shout out Shane. I want to shout out Shane, Bobby. I want to shout out Charles Hooper. I want to shout out all. Yeah, I want to shout out all the guys. The reason why I'm shouting the guys out is because when I was in summer school, I didn't have on-campus house. The guys that stay with them for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was real cool with Roper. That was my guy, my classmate, Roper McBean, Larry McBean. So Kylie would let me crash at his crib for a part of the summer. And then, I went on and stayed with Dex for the later half of the summer. And the guys helped me get, they would take me to school and everything. So I want to shout out dog, brother.
Yeah, shout out boys out Yorktown Apartments too. Yorktown Apartments. Yes, sir.
So shout those guys out, man. Miss Mercer. Fire chief pulled some strings to get you out of there in 3 years, or did it take you 7?
He wasn't the fire chief then.
Oh.
I finished in 5. I started as a nursing major and things didn't go as planned, So I switched over to my minor, which was psychology, and that kind of took, some adjusting, but I wasn't tripping because I was not ready for the real world. I'm not even gonna lie. If I could have stayed in college another 3 years, I would have. Okay, so no, it took me 5 years. So yeah, that was it. Yeah.
What generation were you in your family? How did you feel when you got that degree?
I don't even know what generation I am. What generation?
Like, what generation when you graduated first?
Oh, no. My dad graduated from college.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure about before that. I got my older brother graduated from college. So, we had a couple college graduates within my family.
Okay. Chris, what about you?
Second generation.
How did you feel when you got that thing?
I really don't remember it. The night before was, I was out there and Central had all the black cap and gowns and we out there in 99 degrees.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, just dripping, man. Yeah.
What generation were you to,
second generation. My dad, he went to Benedict College. It's in South Carolina. He went there, and I had an older brother. He went to UNCG, and I had another sibling. He went to A&T, and so they both went to school before me. So, but I would still consider that to be second generation.
what about yourself?
mom went to, she started off at Liberty City. My sister went to NC State, but I remember that December, 9 o'clock in the morning, I was just giving my degree, let it go. So I was, so.
It's time.
I don't, everybody, I mean, as far as I can, can go back.
15.
Well, I mean, that was what, I didn't know any other option. I knew one thing. I knew at 18 I wanted to go to work.
Right.
Like, it was either work or military wasn't even an option. It was work or college. And work meant the real world. So, and thinking back, everybody went to HBCU. So.
Mercy.
My parents went to Mount Olive, so I guess I'm the first generation as far as HBCUs go. My sister Kia, she went to Winston. Then one tried out of Liberty City, and we got one at UNC Charlotte. So there's the baby. We working on her to go to Howard. She's shooting for Harvard, and we not knocking Harvard. Harvard is great, but yeah. We didn't have December graduations. They got rid of those. I think the year it was time for me to graduate. So everybody who didn't they had a ceremony in December, but the actual graduation was in May. So when I say it was the longest, my best friend to this day, she's like, me and your daddy was there. Like, it's still going on. Like, you gotta realize the HBCU graduation, the sororities, the fraternities, people shouting across the stage. You gotta give people their moment. So just be prepared to stay at HBCU graduation. But at least 3-4 hours.
I'm glad you said that because I was asking y'all if you say this when we get out here. You notice like the generations besides you don't go back far. You know what I mean? Because my granddad was a carpenter. You know what I mean? My dad and mom, they worked. My dad, would do what he could do to pay the bills. But if you go back to our lineage and our history, we won't allow in college until a certain time in history. And then, even still, a lot of our grandparents and stuff had to stop going to school because they had to go out there in the farms and go make them 26 a day because we had to eat. Yeah. You know what I mean? We wasn't afforded the luxury. Like, this ain't our land. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really a racism or nothing into it, but I mean, this real oppression amongst black folks it still lasted to this day, but it lasted for a long time to where I can't go back and say I got 5th, 6th generation of college graduates in my family. I think I was the first one to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know my oldest cousin was. I think I was the first one to go. I didn't graduate, but what I'm saying is, it's great that y'all went to college. You know what I'm saying? Now, I said one thing I won't go do on this show tonight was I won't go bash nothing about the experience of college. This whole show was to put the battery in young folks' backs to when they graduate high school, to get out your element. Go live amongst other people from other places. You know what I'm saying? College ain't all about going to class and paying student debt and getting out, might not get a job in your field all day. You can get a job in your field. It's all about location. That's the one thing people don't say. People scared to move to where the jobs are at. You can't be in Rocky Mountain and be a sports agent. You probably can't now because of the internet age went up. But back then, 20, 30 years ago, you had to go to where the sports players at. You know what I'm saying? So know what you're going to school for. And if you plan on getting a degree, plan on going into a location where you could utilize the degree. I appreciate all y'all for coming up here. All y'all are great. All y'all serve a purpose. Y'all are up there for a reason. It ain't because you graduated, but because y'all have some type of influence on the community or on your peers. You know what I mean? Anybody y'all want to shout out before y'all get out, man? I know, you know what I'm saying? You Rocky Mountain got your back. The whole Rocky Mountain got your back. Anybody you want to shout out, man?
Rocky Mountain High School, man. I love my school. Rocky Mountain football program, Rocky Mountain football coaches, and Aggie football, Aggie sports, anything involving that. You know what I mean? two things about me, man. I'm a Griffon, I'm an Aggie.
Right.
Yeah, you can believe that.
Like,
You can believe that, and I ride for both of them.
right. Chris.
Anything associated with North Carolina Central. That's me. Also, Shirley Dunn, my grandmother. I mean, she put me through college. Like I came out with no student loans.
Oh, man.
Praise
I promise you. I'm glad you said that. I promise you, everything I'm doing right now is geared towards for my daughter that's about to go to school now, for her to graduate with no debt. I got a whole plan for her when she graduates to where she won't be bound by them. The chains are already being a $60,000 thing. I want her to step out to the world, step out with a clean slate, a good credit score, so she'll always be a step ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to your mama.
But like the thing, I didn't find this out till I walked the stage. So like she on disability. Like she fixed income. This woman wouldn't pay her bills for 3 months.
Wow.
So like she'll send me to Central with cash money. Cash money every time. Here you go pay your tuition. Wouldn't ask for no receipt or nothing.
Niggas like me would have called my folks like, wow, that ain't too much.
It crosses your mind, like for real. It does cross your mind, but I'm like, nah, this her bread. Like she ain't doing her like she gave me a chance.
My dad knew though. Tyrone.
Man, I want to give a shout out to Rocky Mount. Give a shout out to you having this platform, allowing us to have this conversation. I want to give a shout out to my family. I mean, without my family, I would have never made it through school. I mean, they were there. Also, shout out Howard, alumni, DC. Like when I tell you, there were some situations where I was lost one time in DC, and I was using the metro, right? And I was trying to get back to Rocky Mount, and I was trying to find a Greyhound station. And I was coming up with Georgia Avenue. It's late, and I was right there by Howard University Hospital. And I just randomly asked this lady, right? And she gave me a map and said, my car's right here, and gave me a ride to the Greyhound station. And she was like, keep the map. I have so many stories about love that was shown to me. People I've never even known from DC, people on Howard's campus, the faculty, reaching out, classmates. Like I said, my cousins allowed me to stay with them for a certain time period. Also got a shout out Rocky Mount. Her name's Danielle. She has a business, Too Dope. She made this sweater for me last minute. Appreciate you. And you know, just shout out to everyone trying to better themselves.
Shout out to the alumni chapter of Fayetteville State University. Also my fraternity. Just, you know, fam, you know, everything, you know, my family, my parents, you know, my dad, rest in peace, but they pushed me, you know, to continue my education and where I'm at today. So I'm just grateful.
Everybody, shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Rashawn, thank you for doing this. I told you off gate, this was dope. Of course, all of my Mighty Vikings out there, Viking Pride 3 times, and of course my Swords of Destiny there.
Please, Mercy.
Shout out to again you for this platform. My mom, my dad, all my sisters, and my brother CJ. Y'all probably see him running around at the game somewhere. Shout out to Letitia or Monique Wilkins. She went to church for the Christmas gift. And just shout out to all the HBCUs. I'll say it once, I'll say it over and over. It's literally HBCUs versus everybody. And that's just what it is.
HBCUs versus everybody. Shout out to A&T. Shout out to Central. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Fayetteville State. Shout out Elizabeth City State. Shout out to Wichita State University. Everybody know me. Know I like to drop a motherfucking tune for here and there. If you follow me on Facebook, you see what I do. Hey, DJ, do we got a mic? Or do I just need to do what the fuck I do? Sometimes in our life, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. We know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, if you're strong, and I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long that I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You can just call on the brother if you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. And I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. You can just lean on me. You can lean on me. If you need a friend, you know. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. The HBCU College Night Edition. Tune in. Be right back Monday. I got the Peacekeepers organization here. They gonna come out here and talk about nonprofits and plenty of avenues for y'all out there that need help or need some type of assistance on finding jobs or starting your own business or anything. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go chat with Matt. Appreciate all my guests. DJ Straits.
It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip and party like it's your birthday. And you know it's your birthday.